Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to use Autodesk Inventor to create a 3D object. We're going to first of all open up Autodesk Inventor Professional 2015. If you don't have that one, Autodesk Inventor, one of the earlier versions, 2013, will still work. Once we have Inventor open, we also need to open up for the assignment activity 3.4 from myprojectleadtheway.org. Go into the curriculum and open up activity 3.4 worksheet, linear dimensions, the same one we used for the previous assignment. So we will open up the assignment so that we can see the dimensions for this part, and we're going to create all these parts in Autodesk Inventor. We're going to use all the dimensions shown to create these parts. So you will need to have 3.4 available in order to complete the assignment. We're simply going to look at the part, look at the dimensions, look at what they set the grid spacing happen to be to figure out the size of each part. You should have dimensioned these already, and then we're going to create an isometric view of these objects. So we're simply going to take it step by step, and we're going to create these parts. Okay, so to get started, first of all, we're looking at this part. We're looking at the overall dimension. So in order to start it, once again, also before we get started, one more thing I need you to do is that we need to create a folder with your last name underscore your first name underscore linear dimensions. The way we create a folder, when you go to the page, go to Documents, and once you're in Documents, right click, go down to where it says New. We want to select Folder, and then we're going to type in your last name underscore your first name underscore linear dimension. Now, if you could not save that on your desktop, go to the local drive or to this PC. Once you're on this PC, you should find something that says network drives. So look for WHHS 260 would be the network drive name. Under the drive name, you'll find my name, and should say network drive. Under that, you should find your class period. So whatever class period it happens to be, your class period turn in. So for turn in folder, under that you're going to create a file with last name, first name underscore linear dimension. Okay, so once we have that, then we're going to go to Autodesk Inventor and get started. So we will open up Autodesk Inventor, make sure that we once we open up Autodesk Inventor, we're going to go to create a new part. So in Inventor, we open a new part. Once we get a new part, we're going to put a sketch on the part. Again, we're always creating the front view first. We could create the from bottom to top on the XZ plane. We could create the YZ plane to do left to right, but we want to do XY plane because we want to do front to back. So we click on that to put a sketch there. We will know we're on that because we will see front on our cube. We'll see front. We know we're in the front view. We'll do a rectangle. Does not make any difference where you start the rectangle or how large you draw the rectangle. We simply want to do a rectangle. Then we want to do dimension. We want to do a dimension for the overall width of the object. Not concerned with the size. Put a dimension for the overall height of the object. Again, not concerned with the size. Then we want to look at 3.5. Our overall height is 2.25. Overall width is 2.25. So we want to put those dimensions in for each one of those. Anytime we have a problem like this where the dimension of the part goes out of the window, we can click front. It brings the part back in the window. Once we have our two dimensions, overall height and the width, we want to click on finish sketch, meaning we're done with this sketch. Finish sketch. Then again, our item seems to be out of the window, so we want to bring it back in the window by clicking on home. That brings it back in the window. Now we want to add depth to this object. So we want to look at 3.4. Our depth is 0.75. So we want to go to extrude. Clicking on extrude, and our depth we want to make it 0.75 and press enter. Now we have an object that is 2.25 in width, 2.25 in height, and 0.75 in depth. Again, we want to turn it to front, and we want to put a sketch on the front. So we go to 2D sketch, sketch on the front. Again, a rectangle. Take the rectangle, start in the very corner. We're going to draw a small rectangle. We're not concerned about size. Once we have the rectangle there, we're going to click on dimension. We'll click the edge of the line here, the edge of the line here, so we can make the width of that part. So we click the edge here, and we put a dimension there. Back on the worksheet, the dimension is 0.75. So we will put that dimension in. Now we need a dimension from here to here so we can do for the height. So So we click that line to this line. Okay, if we make a mistake like that, which is okay, alright, edge to edge, and we will put the dimension for that part. Dimension for a height is 0.75. So 0.75 is our dimension. Now we have dimension for the height of the part and the width, and now we need to get rid of this part. So we go to finish our sketch. We want to turn it to an isometric view, so we go to home. Now we're going to extrude so we can cut this off. So extrude or cut. Okay, our dimension gives an option to do join, cut, or intersect. We want to cut because we want to get rid of the part. We don't want to add anything to it. Here it's adding to. We want to cut away from it. And our distance, we want to change that to say to next, to make sure we're going all the way through the object. Now we have created that same part. One other thing we can do is add color to it. The color by going to Appearance, click that, go down the material library and look at the different type colors we can add to it, and we can select any color that we choose. So just go down through until you find a color that interests you. So once you find a color, you're going to select that color, select the color, and double click it. It shows up in the material editor there. So now we come over here and we can get dotted lines out of this on our object. That means we got the whole object selected, and then we can click the color, and now we have the color added to our object. Okay, then we can close that. Now we've got it colored, we've got it saved, got it colored, got it created. Now we go to File, Save As. You go to Save As, and you're going to go in your document and you're going to call it Part 1. So let's call this one, since it's our linear dimensions, let's call it LD for linear dimension Part 1. And that's where we're saving. Okay? That's saved. Then we want to create Part 2. So again, we go to the Inventor icon button, click down, go New, go down to a new part. Now we have a new part file. We go to 2D Sketch, sketch on the front plane. We're going to create a rectangle. Again, not concerned about the size of the rectangle. We're going to put dimensions for our width and dimension for our width. We go to 3.4. We're looking at the second sketch. Our overall width is 3.5. Our overall height is 2.5. go back. Our overall width is 3.5. We type it in. Our overall height is 2.5. Right, now we bring it back to front so we can see the whole thing. We have our overall height, overall width. Matches what we have for the object. We're satisfied with that. We're going to finish the sketch, and we're going to go to the home view. Now we're going to extrude the object. Again, click on extrude, and we need to see what our overall depth is. So depth is 2.5. So we type in our depth, hit enter, and now we have a 3D cube, a box. Go to the front view. We put a sketch on the front. Now we'll do the same thing, a rectangle, small rectangle starting in the top corner. Then we're going to do the dimension, so we can put a dimension here to this edge. We have a dimension. Now we want our dimension from here to that part, and according to our drawing, our dimension for our height is 1. Our dimension for our width here is 1. So 1 for there, 1 for that part, and we have our dimensions in. Now we can finish our sketch. Finish a sketch. Turn it to an isometric view by going to house, going home, and then we want to cut this part off. So extrude, click the part. We're going to go to, right now it's in join. We don't want it to join, so we want to do a cut. We want to cut to next. Click OK. That cuts away that part. Then we want to put a sketch on the top. So we want to turn to top, and we want to do a sketch on top. Use a line tool to go from the edge line here, edge here, make sure they're perpendicular, and then we want another line from the edge to edge. Now we want to do dimension. We're looking for the dimension for this space here, from this space to this space. So by looking at our sketch, we can look at our overall dimension is 2.5. The width of the space between these two lines is 1.5. So that would make on either side of this 0.5. So here's how we'll do our dimensions. We're going to put one dimension that says from in to there to that line, and okay, that dimension didn't go where I wanted to. We right click, escape, and then we'll go back again, our dimension from that line to this line. Okay, we're not getting what I want to get here. Okay, we'll try it again. Try from this line to this line, and keeps trying to give me the same dimension that I already have that we can't do. Okay, so let's try it from the bottom there. Escape. Okay, case like this, something happens kind of strange. We're going to undo. We're going to make sure selecting the right place. So again, line tool, we're going from one line to the next line. Same thing here, line tool from edge to edge, and then we're going to try a dimension from that edge to this edge. Now we got a dimension there. That dimension we said was going to be 0.5. Okay, so we're going to do 0.5, and then we said that dimension between those was 1.5. So we're going to put a dimension from this line to this line, and we're going to make that one 1.5, and then we're finished with that. So we can say finish sketch. Now return it home again, and we want to extrude that portion downward according to our sketch. That's 0.5. So we're going to go to Inventor, and we're going to change this to a cut, and we're going to make that cut to be 0.5. So that's 0.5. We click OK, and we've cut it down 0.5. Next we're going to put a sketch again on this portion. So we do a sketch, we click on that portion, it automatically turns it for us. We can take a 2D rectangle, start on the edge, and just draw it out. Not necessary to make a certain size. Then we're going to take dimension, and we're going to take dimension from this line to this line, and well, we can do a dimension there, that's fine. Okay, we can also want a dimension from this line to this line, which is again not doing what I want it to do right now for whatever reason. We will take a dimension from the space between. We bring a dimension out there. I'm not concerned about size now. And then we go from the edge here to that line, and I should be able to get a dimension, but it's not working for me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to and dimension these parts. So according to the drawing, the dimension is a 1/2 inch from there, and in the center it's 1/2 inch in the center for the cut, 1 inch from edge to edge, and then it goes back 1.5. So we're going to take the one that goes back, it's 1.5, dimension that, and then this dimension is going to be 0.5. Alright, now all I need to do is put a dimension from here to here to be 1 inch. So let's try a dimension again from this edge to here, and that one's going to be 1 inch. Okay, now we're finished with that, so we're going to say finish sketch, return it to the home view, and now we want to cut that part away. So we do extrude, click on it. We want to, here it's already joined, but we don't want to do a join, we don't want to do an intersect, we want to do a cut. Click on cut. You see it only went down 0.5. Well, it's not necessary to specify the distance, because all we have to do is say to next, and it cuts it all the way through the object. Now we have the object that looks exactly like it did in 3.4. Now we can go and add color to our part. Again, going here, selecting the color or pattern that we want to do. Double click it, it shows up there. We're good to go. We can close that part. Now we go to select the whole thing where we got to dot it like that. That's the whole object. Double click and it's colored, and we can close it. And now we can save this part again as save as. We want to call it LD for linear dimension, and it's the second part we're doing, so part 2. And that is how we do the parts in Inventor. Now do the rest of them on your own, trying to see if you can figure it out. Alright, good luck.